Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Independent School District 196, we welcome you to Eagan High School, to Wildcats Stadium. Tonight's Metro Maroon District and Metro Gold District varsity football game between the visiting Sabres from Shakopee High School and your Eagan Wildcats. The Shakopee Sabres will be introduced as a team. Their head coach is Ray Benton. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our visitors to Wildcat Stadium this evening, the Shakopee Sabres. We will introduce the point after touchdown team for the Eagan Wildcats. The center is junior number 79, Jack Young. Guard, senior number 55, Luke Meyer. Guard, senior number 73, Colton Leonard. Tackle, senior number 65, Alex Cahill. Tackle, junior number 66, George Esser. Tight end, junior number 62, Keenan Wilson. Tight end, sophomore number 83, Jack Hansen. Wing, senior number 20, Derek Dorsey. Wing, junior number 22, Sam Iacker. Holder, junior number 2, George Anderson. And the kicker for the Wildcats is senior number 48, Alex Rodman. The head coach of the Eagan Wildcats is Nick Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the national anthem will be played. The flag is located at the north end of Wildcat Stadium.
And we welcome you inside Wildcat Country. Week 8 is here, the final regular season battle of the year for the Eagan Wildcats. And this time out, it's a home contest against the Shakopee Sabres. Good evening, wherever you're watching us. I'm Mike Cook, joined once again by Nathan Cron. And Nathan, the Wildcats come in here. We had an exciting game in here 5 nights ago against Burnsville, a 2-game winning streak for the Cats.
5 nights ago, it seems like it was just yesterday because I'm still dealing with the victory hangover. But the Wildcats had a great opportunity to win 2 games in a row. They got it done against the Burnsville Blaze. It was a tough game, a very entertaining game, as you and I both were treated to a fun game with a good outcome for the Wildcats. Tonight, however, this isn't Hopkins, this isn't Burnsville. These are the Shakopee Sabres. The Shakopee Sabres are one of the best teams in 6A in this state, and the Wildcats have their work cut out for them here tonight.
Yeah, Shakopee comes in at 5-2. They've lost 2 straight, but there's no shame. They lost to Eden Prairie 2 weeks ago up at EP. And last week they led top-ranked Lakeville South at the half, ultimately fell by a 30-22 count. But Ray Benton said he's been more and more pleased with his team is playing. The big thing for Shakopee is watch out on the penalties tonight. He says that has been killing them.
Well, this is an opportunity for the Sabres to get right. I mean, it's an opportunity for them to play a team that they should have more strength, more speed, more talent. All right, I was just going to say it, more talent, but it remains to be seen, can Shakopee go out and execute? And that's really a good test for these Sabres. because this is the last game of the regular season, Mike Cook. As you said, playoffs are looming.
Yep. Shakopee is going to get the ball first. They actually won the toss and decided to take the football. Not something you often see anymore. And it's going to be a great return early for the Sabres. Out across midfield near the 45-yard line of Eagan. Number 34, the ball carrier, Caden Lang, the junior running back for Shakopee. An outstanding position for the Sabres, who have started to run a little bit of a single wing in the last week. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the Wildcats can fare against that tonight in an offense they have not seen all year.
Well, there's going to be a lot of grinded out tonight. At least that's what we expect. You never know what you're going to get. But I'll say this about special teams: the Wildcat special teams kickoff team has got to get their act together, because Alex Rodman should not be making the tackle on the returner.
No, I was having shades of that game against Park Cottage Grove back week. I think it was 2, and they took it all the way to the house. And first down, minimal pickup, if maybe back to the line of scrimmage that time by Shakopee. And I believe the ball carrier that time was Graham Monroe. Monroe 7 is the quarterback for the Sabres. Keep an eye on Jaden Hellerud. We'll call his name a lot tonight as well, number 5.
Nice play by Wilson that time for the Wildcats, knifing in to take away that opportunity.
So Monroe up under center. Sends a man in motion. Monroe, he's going to pitch it far side. Getting outside to the corner. First down and more. All the way inside the Wildcat 20. First carry of the ball game for Elijah Sandridge. And that's going to be a pickup of about 25 or more for the Sabres.
Well, that's definitely not the way to start. The Wildcats lost the edge that time, and while they had decent pursuit from the inside out, Sandridge was already around the corner. Wildcats are going to have to do something to be a little more stout. Can't let this offensive line necessarily dictate exactly where they want to go.
So from the 17, Shakopee looking to take advantage of an outstanding kick return. Got him on the Eagan side of midfield. And Monroe stays under center. And he'll keep coming near side, cuts it up. And Monroe's going to wiggle his way forward to about the 10-yard line. About 5 or 6 Wildcats in on that stop, including Mason Gugino and Derek Dorsey. So pick up a 7 there for Shakopee.
You know, last week the Wildcats got Burnsville to put the ball on the ground quite a lot. That would be one thing here that the Wildcats certainly could use. Sabres obviously are going to go with ball security down deep like this. They want to make sure they punch in the end zone, but Wildcats need to strip something here.
Quarterback keep read nicely that time by the Wildcats. That was number 97, Conrad Larson, with the stop. Didn't fool Conrad that time.
No, you can't fool Conrad that time. Absolutely not. No, he did a great job of. And you know what I loved about it? He didn't just make the stop. He wrapped up and he held on. That was a death grip by Conrad Larson. He was not going to let go. I mean, that's a shifty quarterback, and he was not going to let go.
That was very wrestling-like.
It was. I think he needs to get 2 points for a takedown.
Yes. Of course, Shakopee now a power in state wrestling. Coach Jackson over there. Third down for the Sabres. Monroe's going to keep, comes near side. Good pressure by the Cats. Incomplete, and it's going to be 4th down Sabres. Sam West was the intended target, number 3. He's a senior for this Shakopee squad.
Well, Monroe's action that time, he was rolling to his left. He was left-handed. He's rolling to his left, and looked like he kind of short-armed that ball a little bit, like he wasn't sure if he wanted to throw it or not. But 4th and 5, and I would expect the Shakopee Sabres to attack the flanks. They're going to go outside and try to beat the Wildcats to the edge. That's my prediction.
Keep an eye on 82, Nick Katona. A couple scores last week for the Sabres. And he's down here on the left side. He's 6'7". And good pressure by the Cats. No chance for Monroe. And Eagan avoids early damage with a huge sack. Carter Will in there, Keenan Wilson. I think Jack Hansen might have been in there as well.
It was a Wildcat party, and it was in Monroe's front yard. Everybody was invited, and the guests left garbage. I'm actually very surprised. I thought for sure the Shakopee Sabres would do a pitch out or attack the flanks, try to use some of that athleticism, but instead their offensive line just did the old excuse me block.
So the Cats are going to take over about their own 17-yard line. And this will be Schwam, and he gets tripped up. Might have got back to the 17-yard line. I believe it was number 22 in on the stop for Shakopee is Braden Kearns, check that.
I'm going to go back and amend something I said about the Shakopee offensive line. I think what they were expecting is they expected that ball to be gone. I think Monroe was supposed to come back. That was effectively a 3-step drop, and I think they thought that ball was going to be gone. Now, that being said, you got to block to the whistle, but your quarterback's got to get rid of the ball on rhythm.
When you got to give credit to the Eagan cornerback on that side. I didn't see who it was, but he stayed right there with that receiver. 2nd and 10. Here comes Tonsager. His first carry of the football game gets out near the 24-yard line. Number 55 in among others for the Shakopee Sabres. That's Owen Deedy. We'll be calling that name a lot tonight from his linebacker spot, big number 55. So about a 7-yard pickup that time for the Wildcats. See if they can get something going here for their potential first down of the game. Here, early stages of this one from Wildcat country. And a damp evening here at Eagan High School. Temperature right around 50 degrees. Schwam, far side, got a man. That's going to be out. It's going to be just shy of the first down that time on the pass out to number 23, Jordan Goodrow. Good coverage over there by the Shakopee defense. Cats, I would imagine, are going to punt this one away.
Yeah, unlucky that they had negative yardage on first down, Mike. Otherwise, they might have had a chance to convert that 3rd down play.
2-yard gain on the pass, 4th and 2. Wildcats at the 26-yard line.
So Giron will be back to punt for the Wildcats.
In the punt formation is Isaiah Giron.
Aaron Lee, I believe, is back for the Sabres. Trying to double check the number on that gentleman. Yep. He stands back at about his own 44-yard line. Good snap. Kick on its way, and it is going to come near the sideline, and it'll go out of bounds at about the 45, maybe the 44-yard line, which is about where Shakopee started its first drive, although on the other side of midfield at that mark. So 7:24 to go, scoreless opening quarter. Shakopee went down. Eagan's defense held inside the red zone. Cats go 3 and out. Sabre football at their own 44-yard line here on ETV. You're home for Wildcat Sports, and I mentioned it's kind of a wet and damp night. Unfortunately, we're able to just do a single camera shoot tonight, so we don't have the replays that we normally do, but we're still glad to be here. Like I said, bringing you Wildcat football on ETV. And they're going to go straight ahead this time. This is the first carry of the football game for number 5. That's Hellerud, whose name, like I said, we are going to mention him a lot tonight. He's the main back for this Shakopee squad. Picks up about 5 there on first down.
Notice the Sabres ran an unbalanced line that time, Mike, and you wonder if that's something that they think they can really get an advantage on the Wildcats with, swapping a guard over, swapping a tackle over, and putting an extra lineman on the right side.
Good, sending a man in motion. He's going to get the pitch. Nice job of keeping it in. And get another nice carry on that far side. Still on his feet is Sandridge. Down inside to almost to the Wildcat 30. But there is a flag.
There's a penalty flag well on the other side of the field after the play.
Back at about the 40.
Yeah, about the 40-yard line. I think either it could be a hold, but it also might be some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, maybe a hands to the face penalty.
I like that call, though, Sandridge. He's flashing some wheels out there for Shakopee.
No, it's absolutely, that's one of the things the Wildcats have had some challenges with. It's a personal foul penalty.
I guess.
That's what we know. But interestingly enough, it's not a dead ball foul, so the play does not count. So they'll go 15 yards from the spot of the foul, I guess. What an interesting. I'll have to look that one up at halftime and see if we can explain to our audience what the heck just happened.
Yeah, we both kind of looked at each other like, what was that call? Learn something new every day. 2nd and 9 upcoming for the Sabres. This will be Hellerud once again. And he gets wrestled down on the Eagan 49-yard line. Hansen in there, first man in for the Wildcats. Hellerud coming into this game, 951 yards on the ground, averages nearly 5.5 yards a carry, and right there, that's about what he got.
Well, it's not hard to see why. He's got some good offensive linemen out in front of him blocking for him, and if you're quick and hit the line decisively, as we've seen with Tonsager, Schwab, Lockenmeyer when he was playing, Fall when he was playing, you know, if you hit the line decisively and you have a seam, you can make something happen.
Once again, there he goes. Didn't quite get 5 that time, but I believe it's going to be enough to move the sticks. He needed about 4. And went for the official word from the officials. And there go the sticks. First down, Shakopee. A little slow over there on the chain gang tonight, apparently, but I think they're waiting for the word from the officials.
Well, that's always a good thing to do.
First down for the Sabres on the Eagan 45-yard line.
I see a lot of offensive linemen for Shakopee downfield blocking on defensive backs, and that's not a good matchup. D-line's got to get something going here.
Especially when you look at the size of that Shakopee offensive line. They have got some big gentlemen up there. Sandridge once again cuts to the outside. And again, he finds a hole on the outside, picks up another 15 or more for the Sabres. He's been there 3 times tonight for Shakopee thus far.
And I think it's been 3 first downs, if
Absolutely.
I'm not mistaken. It's their 4th first down here of the first quarter.
First and 10, Shakopee from the Wildcat 30-yard line.
And the Wildcat 30 as we're just about to go inside. 5 minutes to go here in this opening quarter. Scoreless so far here on ETV. Second drive of the night for the Sabres. Might have jumped, I thought, a little bit there, but Monroe keeps the football. Gets maybe a couple that time. There's Wilson in on the stop. George Anderson up as well for the Wildcats. And I saw Keaton Wilson before the game. He's got face black. I mean, it's over like all of his cheeks down below. I mean, it almost looks like he had a goatee as low as that black was going on his face.
Maybe he's going to be playing some Call of Duty later or something. I don't know.
But yeah, he definitely got his money's worth out of that eye black. Shakopee on a 2nd and 8. Did the Cats jump? However, if the Cats, let's see, they're saying offsides. Eagan are waiting for the referee to agree with his partner of the officiating crew. Offsides, Eagan, yes indeed.
Penalty against the Wildcats.
First penalty of the night on the Wildcats.
5-yard penalty, moves the ball.
Shakopee has 1 as well. That was a personal foul earlier on this drive.
To the 23-yard line.
Well, the Wildcats have to just watch what's in front of them. I mean, there's a bark. You can tell here what Shakopee's doing. There's some sort of bark, and then there's the actual snap, and so you just got to know that he's just go on motion.
Straight, this will be Hellerud. Bounces off 1 tackler, tries to bounce off 2, and he's taken down at about the 15-yard line. Ball is loose, but referee did say he was down. Sticks are going to move once again. And first down, Shakopee once again inside the Wildcat red zone. Tella with the stop, by the way, for the Wildcats.
8 yards to the Wildcat 15. That is a first down for the Sabres.
It was Tella and Carter Will also trying to make that tackle, but Will grabbing on, holding on. Got to keep his legs under him. I think if he keeps his legs under him and he's able to get his arms wrapped around the back, he's going to have much better success. But can't catch and hold on. Got to attack.
Monroe looks to throw, coming near side. Got his man. It is caught. Touchdown, Shakopee. Nick Katona with the reception. 15 yards on that strike. And it's 6-0 Sabres.
Well, George Anderson for the Wildcats. Katona's got him by a good, I mean, just from eyeballing it up here in the box, he's got at least 6 or 8 inches on him. I mean, that's really a great matchup for Katona, not a great matchup for Anderson.
Or most defensive backs. Forsyth PAT. Kick is on his way. Kick is through the sticks, and it's 7-0 Shakopee with 3:13 to go here in the opening quarter on ETV. As we said, last game of the regular season for both of these teams. We know, talking to Coach Johnson yesterday, the Wildcats are going to be an 8 seed somewhere. The seedings are going to take place on Friday morning because there are some games on Thursday this week yet. The whole official shortages forcing an extra night of play or of action for 6A. For the Sabres, they're kind of right there on that 2-3, them and Minnetonka, to see who gets that number 2 slot. And really, I mean, that could be big because you're talking 2 home games then. So we shall see. Again, Friday, I would think probably by midday, those brackets should be up on the State High School League site. I would imagine both schools will be tweeting out the information. But we do know those games will be played on Friday the 29th. Shakopee will be at home. Wildcats will be on the road. NJ was thinking it could be Eden Prairie, it could be Maple Grove, maybe Stillwater. Don't know where the Cats are going to go, but we do know it will be a road contest. And right now the Cats try to go out near the 30-yard line on that return. Carter Will with the return. Notice the practice yesterday, too. The Cats were really working on that kind of that short kick from the other team, make sure those upbacks are ready. As we've seen this year, that's been an issue at times for the Wildcats.
Yeah, there have been opportunities where the Wildcats have missed opportunities, right, where they've made mistakes, either mental errors or physical errors. And that's a good thing to practice. Special teams are going to win or lose a 30-year games.
Schwam under center. Long count here for the sophomore. Straight ahead, Tonsager bounces to the outside. That's a first down out across the 40-yard line. Nice run by Landon Tonsager for the Eagan Wildcats. Fulton on the stop for Shakopee, number 8, by the way.
I think Tonsager would still be running. I think he ran into one of his own blockers down the field and couldn't quite get off of him. I think if he hits that full speed and doesn't run into his blocker, he might take it into the house.
First down of the football game for the Wildcats. Schwam, Tonsager, Schwam gets out near the 47-yard line. Tripped up on the far side by number 64, I believe it was, for Shakopee, Jade Trelstad. Trelstad, one of the many big boys on this Shakopee squad, and Trelstad, wrestler as well. Keep an eye on 64 tonight. We'll probably be calling that name quite a few times as well.
I definitely wouldn't want to take the mat against a guy like that. I mean, he clearly's got something going for himself, and so do these offensive linemen for the Wildcats.
Tonsager finds a seam, gets out across the Shakopee 45-yard line, or to the 45 is where they're actually going to spot it. Bottom line is sticks are going to move. 11-yard pickup for Tonsager. First down, Wildcats.
I think it was Jack. I think it was Esser. I think it was Esser on this side came on a kickout block, and Tonsager did a nice job of turning it up behind Esser. Nicely done. That time by Tonsager being decisive and making the cut. Didn't try to run around, didn't try to get fancy. He just stuck his nose in, got the first down.
I know George Esser is the lineman, and his dad Jack told us before the game we referred to him as Jack at one point last week, so apologize to George. And about a 4-yard pickup that time for the Wildcats.
I just said Jack, didn't I?
You did. That's what made me think of it. Hey, it's only like our, fourth game together this year? We'll get this figured out at some point. Down to 117.
Sorry, George.
Exactly. Yeah, we definitely owe you an apology if we called you by your dad. And there was a penalty on the play, by the way.
Yeah, pretty obvious. 2 Wildcats both in motion, running at each other in the backfield is, while it might be interesting and somewhat comical, it's still a 5-yard penalty.
Might be legal in the Canadian League. I'm not sure.
We'd have to check.
Yeah, exactly.
Although we're still trying to figure out what 2 fists knocking together on a personal foul means, so we'll figure that one out later. Stick around for the second half.
Exactly.
Find out.
Cats need 14 for the first. Here's Tonsager. And the Cats are still going to need about 14 for the first, as numerous Shakopee Sabres in there on that one. I think 26 was the first man in, Aaron Lee. Megan came over to help out as well. So maybe a 1-yard pickup that time for Tonsager. Well, they're going to say 3, but whatever.
2nd and 12 for the Wildcats.
Cats get one more playoff here most likely before the first quarter ends. Going to go to the air. Coming near side, got a man. I think that was it Phillips he was going for. Of course, Eagan fans remember that play from a week ago. That worked really well against Burnsville. Not so much that time. Just a little overthrown that time by Schwam.
And with the incomplete pass, we're going to have a 3rd down and 12 here for the Wildcats coming up. I like the call there, though, on 2nd down and long. I mean, Phillips has demonstrated the ability to get there. Schwab just put a little too much air under that one, threw it a little too strong, which is a nice problem to have. You don't want to leave it short. If you leave it short, it's an interception or something dangerous.
All right, 2 seconds left in the first quarter, so this should be the final play. Schwam, pitch, Tonsauger needs some help on that far side, and he's going to maybe get 1 yard on the play. Maybe. Knocked out of bounds over there. I believe it was 21, Ty Layden on the stop for Shakopee. And that will end quarter number 1 here in Wildcat country. We're at Shakopee 7 and the hometown Eagan Wildcats nothing.
Oh, Layden that time did a nice job stringing that play out. Looked like Tonsauger might have an opportunity to turn that corner. And, of course, if he does, all bets are off. He's a hard runner. He breaks the tackle, and suddenly the Wildcats are looking at our first down. But that time, the Sabres did a great job of stringing that out. You don't have to make the tackle necessarily. You just have to prevent him from getting up the field.
Quick update on some of the underclassmen teams this year. The 10th graders, they finished the year at 3-5, and the 9A team, I don't know, look up the word domination, and that's about all you can describe them. They won 40-0 over Shakopee yesterday. Allowed 1 touchdown in their last 5 games as they finished 8-0, and that 1 touchdown was a kick return.
An undefeated year, it doesn't matter whether you're playing, squirt B2 hockey or squirt B hockey or, girls high school basketball or NFL or college volleyball. It doesn't matter what you're playing. An undefeated season is something to be proud of. And the 9A's had an undefeated season this year.
Which reminds me, we need to make sure we say a special shout-out hello to Cindy Olson watching us tonight. Her husband Eric, part of that coaching squad for the 9A team. Ball is loose on the field. Who's got it, though? One Shockey player says they have it.
Well, there's a mad scramble. It definitely hit somebody.
Nothing word from the man in stripes. Shakopee still says they have it. And the officials agree. Sabres dodge a bullet here early in the second quarter.
That's a real, and it's hard to pick up exactly the numbers there, but as there was quite the mass of humanity. But the returners have got to let the blockers know that ball's short. They've got to be yelling to them. They've got to communicate with them, and those blockers have got to bail out of the way and just let that ball go. And as you said, that's a dodged bullet. And against a good football team in a playoffs, that's the kind of thing that can end your season.
Yep, and I believe it was Aaron Lee that fell on the football. He was the return man for the Sabres. As they're going to go from about their own 21, maybe the 22-yard line. And they're going to go straight ahead this time. Nope, actually, we bid on the fake. Quarterback keeps Monroe. Cat defense did not. A horde of Wildcats in on that stop. Carter Will, among others, in there.
It's hard to tell, Mike, whether Monroe made the wrong decision in not handing that ball off to the down, but the up back, the through back, or whether the Wildcats just read it really, really well, because it looked like the dive back was just running free, but he didn't have the ball.
And it ends up they got about a yard out of that play. Send their man in motion. Monroe looking to throw. Lofts one up far side. And that ball, is it caught? No, it is dropped out at about the 43-yard line. Number 27, the intended target. That's Sandridge, who's had some success coming out of the backfield tonight for Shakopee.
Oh, Sandridge has had some success coming out of the backfield, but you know who else has had some success? Derek Dorsey, the one-arm bandit.
Yep.
What great recovery there. He had an opportunity. He was beat. He was beat. He was and I'm not even sure if that was his guy, but he was beat. He had to recover did a great job of getting up to knock that ball away and create the incompletion. So now it's a long third down conversion opportunity here for the Sabres.
You would think it would be a pass situation for Shakopee. But they have one receiver in the formation. They're going to pitch it far side. And that's going to be a first down and plenty more for the Sabres out near midfield. Trying to get the number on that ball carrier.
And on the tackle for the Wildcats, Sam Iacker, number 22.
I think it was number 10 that time, actually. Wamsley, the ball carrier, his first of the night.
Well, if you can get pitch outs, if you can get 18 yards on a pitch out, that's what you keep doing. You don't need to throw the ball on 3rd and long.
Coming near side, this will be Sandridge this time. He gets 45, cuts it up 40, and down to about the 35 of the Wildcats. Sabres going downhill, but there is a yellow piece of laundry on the turf.
Yeah, there was some great blocking down the field by the Sabres. Unfortunately, there was some blocking was just a little too good, and we're going to have a hold.
Nope, they're picking it up.
Not sure why you would pick it up, but so be it. It looked like a hold to me. George Anderson was trying to hold the corner, and as he turned, the blocker's arms were all around him, so I'm not sure what that was about.
Again, we are a single camera shoot tonight due to the rainy day that we've had here in Wildcat Country, and chance of showers coming up yet tonight. Holding off right now, so it's actually not too bad for October the 20th. Hellerud, 30, down to about the 25. Will it be enough to move the sticks? He's going to be close.
It's like they're going to just mark him a little bit short.
Yep. It's like 9.5 that time for Hellerud.
Yeah, there definitely seems to be a tendency here for Shakopee. When they go with that unbalanced line to the field, they tend to run into that unbalanced line to the field. So the Wildcats are going to have to make some adjustments. They're going to have to do something to change it up. Otherwise, the Shakopee Sabres will keep going to that well.
I asked Coach Benton before the game what makes Jaden Hellerud so special. He says he's a kid that can do a lot of damage. You saw it there. Going to go for the corner, far side. Nearly a one-handed catch by Katona, and they're going to get the late flag coming in.
Now, I think this is going to be offensive pass interference.
Yep. That was my initial thought.
Yep, this will be offensive pass interference. He did the swim move. That's what a defensive lineman does to an offensive blocker. He did the swim over Katana over the top of, was that Dorsey? Yeah,
yes.
That's not going to be on Dorsey.
Although at least one Wildcat player is reacting kind of like an oh no. Wait for the official word from the man in the white hat.
There's no way that you can call this on blue.
Cats are all back at about their 10-yard line. Interference. Eagan.
That's unbelievable. That's absolutely unbelievable. Katona absolutely did the swim move. He grabbed Dorsey by the back and swam over him. I'm not sure. I don't know how you call it on blue. I don't know how you call a penalty on the blue player.
So it's going to be first down Shakopee. And we got, I believe, a sideline warning on the Wildcats as Nick Johnson out at about the 26-yard line looking for an explanation.
I think he's entitled to one because, I mean, from what we saw both live action, we don't have a replay. I don't know how you throw a flag on Dorsey. Now, the only thing, I take that back. The only thing you could say is Dorsey got in his way and impeded him, and that's when he swam over him. But
right.
Dorsey's allowed to stand there. He's allowed to stand there in the guy's way. Okay, he's not allowed to knock him down, but he's allowed to stand in his way. So I don't get that at all.
So from the 6 for Shakopee, looking for their second touchdown of the night. Send a man in motion. Hellerud, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 6 for the Sabres. 13-0 Shakopee. Just shy of 3 minutes gone by here. Quarter number 2.
Well, again, the Sabres had an unbalanced line to the left, and that's where they went. Mike Cook, and I tell you, if I'm the Wildcats defensive coaches, I got to say, okay, when they run that unbalanced line, we got to start stunting or slanting or doing something to that side because that's where the ball's coming.
Forsyth for his PAT, second of the game. And 14-0 Sabres. 9:09 to go here, second quarter. Sabres looking to improve to 6-2 on this football season. Cats looking for their third straight win. Hey, I want to mention another thing at Eagan High School. The Interact Club recently had their coat drive. Picked up 359 coats this year that was taken to the Mission Outpost Food Pantry and Clothing Closet in Burnsville. And from what I saw online, it said the folks at the clothing closet, they said those jackets will be out the door quickly. So very nice to see the Eagan community step up, help some folks stay warm this winter. Speaking of winter, we mentioned it's about 50 degrees here at game time. Last year on this date, I saw we got just under 8 inches of snow as part of en route to the snowiest October on record here in the Metro.
Well, we had plenty of precipitation today. If things had been a little colder, you never know. We might be shoveling. We might have had to shovel off the field.
I remember that last year was the Eagan fans and the Rosemount fans got together the next day and shoveled this field so the Irish and Wildcats could play. Another short kick returnable. This will be from the 5. Out across the 20, and it's where Eagan will start at about the 22-yard line. I think that was Anderson on the return for the Eagan Wildcats. So the Cats need to get something going here.
Yeah,
down by a 14-0 count against a team that not too long ago they were ranked number 2 in 6A.
Yeah.
And then Shakopee, they lost Dominic Jackson, who was their super stud quarterback. Lost him for the year. Kind of took them a little while to get going off of that, but
they're going.
They're going now. Cats unbalanced line. Here's Tonsager. Tonsager gets to the outside, crosses midfield, down to the 40, and he's going to get pushed out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. Nice way to start the drive for the Eagan Wildcats. 41 yards for Tonsager.
Nicely done. Nicely done by the offensive line. As you said, the Cats have got to get something going. Well, Mike, consider it going. I mean, that's the kind of play that the Wildcats needed. Big props for the offensive line there.
Absolutely.
Nice seam, and Tonsager hit it hard.
Tight formation again for the Cats. Unbalanced line to the right this time. Tonsager once again. Tonsager gets maybe a yard that time. First man in there for Shakopee was number 22. That's Braden Kearns. So the question is, if you're the Shakopee D, how much do you have to focus on Tonsager at this point, knowing that Schwam can be kind of athletic too, and if he gets to the outside like that?
I would, well, look, I mean, the defense is set up to take away all of the offensive opportunities, but Tonsager is right now, at this moment, the more dangerous of the two.
5 down linemen for Shakopee. Shakopee coach is looking for a false start. Tonsager might have got a yard on that play. A number of Shakopee Sabres in on that stop, including number 50, Jace Garcia. So it's going to be 3rd and about 8 for the Wildcats. I like Shakopee stacking the line like that. You know Tonsager is the Eagan offense, and he's going to come up the middle most often.
I think that's right. Now it's incumbent upon the Wildcats to change it up and do something a little bit different.
3 receivers set for the home team. And give to Tonsager once again. Picks up maybe 4 that time. Read well that time by the Shakopee defense. Dede coming up off the bottom of the pile for the Sabres.
Now, here's a situation, Mike, where I do think it's 4-down territory for the Wildcats.
Yes.
I mean, you're inside the 35-yard line. You're going to lose maybe at most if you punt the ball or try a field goal. You'll lose very, very little field position. You might as well go for it here. It'd be nice to see the Wildcats do something they haven't done yet. It'd be nice to see a play out of the playbook they haven't necessarily run. Maybe gives the Shakopee Sabres a different look.
About 6.5 to go before the half. There's Schwam, quick throw. Couldn't quite get his man at the 30-yard line. I'm assuming that was Rowan Phillips, and indeed it was. So Shakopee to take over with a 14-0 lead, and they're going to take over at about their own 32-yard line here as we approach the halfway point of quarter number 2. So let's just see if Shakopee just is content run that football down the field, or do you air one out here and try to just mix things up just a little bit?
I don't think the Sabres will do anything different than what they've done. I think they'll go unbalanced line to the field. They'll option into that, and then as soon as the defensive backs have started to suck up a little bit, they'll hit Katana over the top.
1st and 10 Sabres. They've got a 14-0 lead here on ETV. And they're going to pitch it. Read well by the Wildcats. And Stonehenge maybe got a yard on that second effort, but good job that time by the Wildcats. Penalty on the play. And I apologize, Sandridge, not Standridge.
So we're going to either have a holding. Looks like we'll have holding out against the Sabres.
Yep.
It was away from the play on the backside of the play. It was not play side, it was backside.
And we said at the outset, one of the things Ray Benton was talking about the Sabres is they've got to cut down on the penalties.
Well, it's mental discipline, right? I mean, it's mental discipline. You're the backside tackle. You're the backside guard. The play is already to the outside. You've got to use your head and say, look, I don't want to make. I can't hold here. I can't do what I want to do. Even if I want to hit the guy, even if he said something mean about my girlfriend, I can't do that, right?
And they start talking nasty about your girlfriend.
Oh, that's everybody false started. I don't know how they're. Where are the flags? Where are the flags? The ball didn't get snapped. Everybody else started moving, but the ball was not snapped.
So it's going to be a loss on the play of about 4 ultimately. I think Monroe was kind of thinking the same thing.
Monroe's like, blow the whistle, blow the whistle.
Yeah. A lot of blue shirts back there along with number 7 in white. 2nd and about 26 right now for Shakopee.
Here's a situation where Shakopee could air this out, Mike.
Nope, said they're going to run it. Ellerud straight ahead, or just off the right side. Gets out about to the 30. He's got about half of the necessary distance for the first down. So it's going to be 3rd and about 12 for the Sabres.
Sabres 1 of 3 on 3rd down right now. Not exactly a high conversion right now. To be fair, they've had some big rip runs, but not exactly consistent on 3rd down.
They need to get to about the 42. And they'll hand it off. Ellerud not going to do a nice job in there. I believe that was Gugino that came in and helped out, finished him off. Trying to see who got first man in for the Wildcats. Might have been Wilson. Had him around the ankles.
Wingback on play side was leaning forward. Boy, they're very lucky. Very lucky the officials missed it. That could have been in the playoffs. That's a false start. They got to be careful there.
See what the Sabres choose to do here on a 4th and 7.
Now, here's the thing. I'm a little surprised the Sabres are going to go for this. I would think, honestly, I would think they would want to punt and make sure that they can punt effectively before the playoffs and get some practice with their punt team with a live rush. And the Sabres will take a timeout.
Absolutely.
I think that's a smart idea.
I agree.
I think the Sabres, if I was, if I'm the Sabres coaching staff, I'd like to, okay, we might be able to get a first down here, but it still is only 14-0. So do we want to give the Wildcats the ball in our end of the field? That's number one. Number two, when you come to the playoffs, we have to be able to punt the ball effectively.
Yep.
This is an opportunity for us under pressure in a game situation, something of a pressure situation, to punt the ball effectively and make sure we can do it. I'd rather practice that than try to get this first down.
Well, again, you got some big boys up front there for Shakopee if they do choose to run it. I mean, you've got Martin Paviso, number 77. He's a Central Michigan recruit. Saw him warming up, and it's like, oh boy, that is a very, very large young man. Ethan Vaughn, Spencer Opitz, Dallas Monavon also up on that line along with Jade Trelstad. So a lot of big boys up front for this Sabre squad. And again, I think the size differential definitely in favor of the Sabres.
Well, if the Sabres do go for it here, what they're going to do, if I had to guess, is I think they're going to hit the flanks. They've got unbalanced to the field. They're going to give Sandridge a pitch out to the left.
Or do you try and draw the Cats off? Ellerud Breaks one tackle, gets out across the 43. That's going to be a first down for the Sabres. Needed 7, got 8.
Oh, nicely done by Heller at that time. Wildcats didn't do a bad job getting to the ball, but did not do a great job of tackling. It's like there was an opportunity to stop him at the line of scrimmage or maybe with a minimal gain, but Wildcats just couldn't get it done that time.
If you're Coach Comer, the defensive coordinator for the Wildcats, I mean, what are you keying on in a situation like that?
Well, they've got keys. They've got to read their keys, and they've got to do the right thing.
Going to throw it on first down. Far side. A little too far that time, so it'll be 2nd and 10 upcoming for the Sabres.
Nice coverage by Dorsey. I don't think Katona wasn't going to have any opportunity to catch that ball.
And I'll be curious if Dorsey stays on him the rest of the game. I mean, do you just put your best player on that guy and kind of let everybody else go, the 10-on-10 kind of thing?
Well, Dorsey's been on him, and then we've also seen Gugino on him, and I think Dorsey's definitely the better matchup for the Wildcats.
Shakopee, they're going to keep this one on the ground. Leonard cuts it up, crosses midfield, gets past Anderson, stays on his feet. Another first down for the Sabres, this time at the Wildcat 43-yard line. So from the Sabre 43 to the Wildcat 43, that's 14 yards, Sabres.
George Anderson committed a sin there. He went for the strip. He's trying to create an opportunity, and while you like that, he's got to make the tackle. Make the tackle first. First guy makes the tackle. Second guy punches the ball out.
Just inside 3 minutes to go here in the opening half. 14-0 Sabres. Hellerud once again. Down to about the 35-yard line. Nice second and third effort there. Makes it 2nd and very short. Eagan, I believe, has 3 timeouts. Shakopee 2.
Wildcats need a big play defensively. They need something to stop this momentum here for the Sabres.
Monroe, he'll keep it himself. Cuts it up, gets through the first line, gets past Anderson, stays on his feet, spins his way forward to about the 27. Picks up about 6 that time. Little shifty run there by the quarterback. Couple spin moves and first down for the Sabres.
It almost looked like a quarterback sneak or a quarterback draw, where he takes the steps back a couple of steps, and then comes forward. And that time the defense had, I wouldn't say parted the sea for him, but the defense had opened up some holes, and all you had to do was find a seam. Nicely done.
And will he keep it again? He's going to bounce to the outside, tries to go out, cuts it back in, and again another nice, sizable gain on first down for Shakopee. This time it's about 7 yards by number 7. We approach 1:45 to go here, opening half. From the 19 goes Shakopee. Hellerud moves, the pile just moves. Gets 5, maybe 6 that time. You or I might have got 5 behind the line on that play.
And the clock stops while the chains move. Shakopee does have 2 timeouts left. Imagine they'll start calling them here if they don't feel like they're going to punch this in immediately.
This drive started with 6:29 remaining in the half. And Hellerud again, he's down to about the 10 this time. Give him another 5.
Sabre flex U back or H back is leaning forward at the snap of the ball. The Wildcats need to start calling it or getting the officials to watch for it, as the Sabres are going to get a timeout. Nicely done by the Sabres to march this ball down the field, give themselves an opportunity to really stick one in the end zone here and potentially put this game away close to halftime.
Yeah, I would say this would put the game away if you're for Shakopee. Cats just don't have the kind of offense that's going to come back. They're not a superb throwing team by any means, and that's what you're going to have to do if you're down by 3 scores against this team.
Well, if you can count on your defense to get stops, maybe you got an opportunity to run your way back into this. But right now, the Wildcat defense is just not. They're getting gashed. Right?
Yes.
I mean, they're giving up chunks of yardage, despite having stopped Shakopee on their first drive on downs. Since then, it's been pretty much one-way traffic here for the Sabres.
This will be the 12th play of the drive upcoming for Shakopee. I'm just kind of looking at some of the stats here. I think Eagan has run just 17 plays in this half. As we said, this is the 12th play of the drive upcoming for Shakopee. Just a good ball control offense. And that's what you need to get deep into the season.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, look at Lakeville South. I think I heard something they've completed 35 passes this year, but they've got such a strong running game that you don't need it. Coming out of the timeout, Sabres. Monroe outside. Can Dorsey get there? Pylon, touchdown Sabres. 11-yard touchdown run for Shakopee, and it's 20 rip. Nice block to spring him on the outside. And there's a flag, however. I did not catch the number on that blocker, but.
All right. They're going to call that big block on the outside. They're going to call that a penalty.
Wait for the official signal.
A personal foul.
There it is. Okay, he did it again with that bump in the fist together.
So that's going to be an illegal crackback block. I think that's an illegal crackback or an illegal block from behind. So
they'll take the 6 points off the board
and march the Sabres back 15 yards. And I think that's probably the right call. It's unfortunate, but it's probably the right call. It was on the far side of the field, Mike, and I couldn't tell if he'd gotten his head in front of him or not, but obviously the referees didn't think so.
Okay, now we get set to go. There we go, wind the clock. I think Ray Benton was looking for an explanation on that far side. The clock is still stopped.
Okay, looks like they're gonna put some time back on the clock, because they started the clock after the penalty.
44 seconds, please. There you go. I don't know if you can hear that through the headsets. 44 seconds is what they're going to put on there.
After the penalty, ball spotted at the Wildcat 20.
So ball right on the 20-yard line. Again, 44 seconds to go. Shakopee, I believe, still has
one timeout. That's right.
And they're going to throw. No, they're not. They're going to step up, run, gets to the outside, 15-10, and knocked out of bounds inside the 5, down to about the 2-yard line that time in row on the scramble. Needed 20, got 18, and he got out of bounds, so that'll stop the clock.
Wildcats are going to have to come up here with something really special. They're going to have to do something really special here to keep these Sabres out of the end zone. What the number one thing they're going to have to do is attack the line of scrimmage. They can't catch blocks here. They have to attack the line of scrimmage and make sure that collision occurs on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Let's see where Katona lines up if he's in this formation. And he is not. Yes, he is actually. He's lined up on the right end of the line. Straight ahead, why not Hellerud? That was touchdown, Sabres. Now it's 20-0 Shakopee.
Touchdown, Shakopee Sabres.
And for Hellerud, that'll be his second of the quarter, second of the game. And 20-0 Sabres.
It's just a little too easy that time by the Sabres. To be fair, though, I mean, getting 2 yards, when you've been giving up chunks of yards, 2 yards is usually going to be pretty easy.
And make it 21-0 in a drive that took just under 6 minutes.
It's a very effective drive, no question about that.
Absolutely. So the Sabres go up 21-0 here as we approach halftime in Wildcat country. We said last regular season football game of the year for both of these squads. And hey, I want to make sure we remember to mention our sponsors tonight. Again, thanks for helping out with Wildcat football this year. We've got Wyatt's, we've got Cooper's, Tavern 13. Of course, Jersey Mike's the official sandwich sponsor, and Domino's Town Center is the official pizza sponsor of Eagan football. And I understand pizzas have been ordered, so these guys are going to have a little bit of a feast afterwards tonight in the cafeteria here at the high school. Again, you got to have those good sponsors, and indeed we do here, part of the Eagan football family. Great to have everybody up on board.
Also want to say thanks to our ETV crew. We don't mention them enough. They do such a great job bringing you these pictures and letting Mike, you and I talk a lot. Josh Sibley, Michelle Blasco, Greg Borman, and Dylan Straub. Thanks very much to our ETV crew. And, of course, if you're interested in working with ETV, they're always looking for volunteers for cameras or other types of work that can, it can get you, certainly it gets you in the door. It gets you in the door and sometimes can give you the best seat in the house.
Absolutely. And Cats will be returnable. Oh, Anderson does pick it up. Good coverage that time by Shakopee. And Eagan is going to start at about their own 12-yard line. Hey, just to piggyback on what you just said, do you know that today is National Community Media Day? And ETV is just one of many community media centers across the country that can help tell your story. ETV, they do all the work. They provide training, resources, and a facility for local media makers to produce original programs by and for the community. So eagan-tv.com for more info.
First and 10 for the Wildcats, number 13.
Cats shadows their own goalpost. Tonsager moves ahead out to about the 18-yard line. More importantly, hangs on to the football. Last thing the Cats need is a turnover.
Imagine this clock will now run down to triple zeros.
Yeah, it's
we'll head to halftime.
Yep. And the Cats head off to the locker room. Shakopee is going to do the same. A little happier on the Shakopee side as they are up by a 21-0 count here in Wildcat country. Well on their way to making a statement to get that number 2 seed over in their section.
Well, it's certainly what you want to do, and we're going to have some great halftime entertainment. I'm not sure if we're going to have the audio for it, but we're going to have some. The dance team is running their camp for the local elementary school girls, and so there's going to be all sorts of girls and big girls and little girls. Everybody is going to be out on the field dancing and having a great time.
So be sure and stay with us. It's halftime here in Wildcat country. Shakopee 21, Eagan nothing. We'll be back shortly for halftime and maybe the third quarter as well. You're watching ETV, your home for Wildcat Sports. And we welcome you back inside Wildcat Country. We're at the half. It's the Shakopee Sabers 21, your Eagan Wildcats nothing. Again, Mike Cook here with you. Nathan Cron once again by my side as we finish up our 5th year doing these games together. And Nathan, maybe we'll see a big Wildcat rally here in this second half.
Well, I don't know if we're going to see a rally. It would be certainly very entertaining to see something like that. But what I'd like to see for the Wildcats is not quitting.
Yep.
I don't want to see them, mail it in or quit or not finish the game. Right? Try to win a quarter, punch the ball into the end zone, do some things that reminiscent of what they did last week and the week before. Especially as Shakopee is, my guess is going to probably move with some 2s and 3s into the game. So the Wildcats can have an opportunity here to get back on track, get a little bit of exercise, and a little bit of momentum here and some good stuff on film, setting up for next week in the playoffs.
And again, you mentioned next week playoffs. That'll be Friday the 29th. We know the Wildcats are going to be on the road as an 8 seed. Again, Shakopee looking for a 2 seed, and for sure they'll have a home game next Friday, and possibly if they win that one, possibly another one as well if they get the 2 seed. But section meetings are going to be Friday morning this year, so hopefully by midday those seedings will be announced. And again, check out the High School League website, and I'm sure the schools will be social media that activity like crazy, but we know it's going to be Friday night. Want a quick mention, by the way, congratulations to the Eagan 8th grade green team. Won the South Suburban Football League title last Saturday night, 7-0 over Shakopee Red. And I was told that there was a defensive stand at the 1-yard line to end that football game, and Eagan Green finishes the year 7-0, South Suburban Football League champs.
It's another undefeated season for an Eagan football team, which, like I said, doesn't matter what level you play at, whether it's Pee-wee football, high school football, college football, Division III, Division I, the pros. You go undefeated in any schedule at any time, and it's a big deal.
Absolutely. So, yeah, congratulations to them. And I know the 7th graders, they played each other here last Saturday for the 3rd place game. So, again, congratulations to them as well. But right now it's all about varsity football as the clock counts down. You see the teams on the field getting ready for second half action. We were just talking amongst ourselves before we came on out of the break here that Eagan's got a tennis player going to state next week.
That's right. Cassandra Lee did qualify for the state tournament out of section, I believe it's 3AA. I think it's 3AA. And so she's going to be playing next week for the Wildcats, and great opportunity for her.
Absolutely. That'll be down at the U of M. And of course, we had a couple of soccer teams that unfortunately ended their season within the last week. The boys lost in the semis, and then tough one here last night for the girls.
Yeah, the girls battled an absolutely, well, I wouldn't say incredible Rosemount team, but a pretty darn good Rosemount team. They have tremendous talent. They're well coached. They're very athletic. And so there's a reason that Rosemount was top 5 in the state, Mike Cook, and they demonstrated it. That being said, the Wildcats, when they played earlier this year, the Wildcats lost 4-0 and it was not competitive.
Right.
Last night, it was competitive. Now, the shots were very lopsided, no question about it. Rosemount had 14 to, I think the Wildcats maybe had 2 or 3 shots, and a couple of opportunities where off corners and things like that. But bottom line is that the Wildcats played them tight. It was a 1-0 defeat to a great Rosemount team. So, hats off to Coach Ekstrom and the Wildcat girls. I'm sure they'll be hungry for next year and bring everything over the winter they can to get better for next year.
Hard to believe you mentioned winter. I saw dance team practice, I believe, starts next Monday, and then a week later is girls hockey November 1st, and then they kind of throughout the month of November these teams all get rolling again, and before you know it, ETV will be broadcasting hockey games and basketball games and wrestling matches. And so the Wildcats are going to start with the football here in the second half, down by a 21-0 count, and they're going to start at about their 21-yard line. We're going to get some mojo going. Really got to get something going on this drive to find something for this Wildcat offense.
Yeah, they definitely need to have some continuity and some consistency. Getting a couple of first downs is really going to be what the doctor ordered.
Schwam may be your quarterback. It's Carson Schwam, the sophomore, number 17. And this will be Tonsager Number 8 for the Wildcats. Couple of yards that time before he's wrapped up by a number of Shakopee Sabres. First man in, I believe, was Owen Deedy. Number 55, whose name we've called a few times tonight. Minimal pickup. Let's look at him a couple on that play. Be interesting to see how long, if Shakopee were to make a stop here, how do their ones come back out at that point, or does Coach Ray Betten kind of give them a break going into next week?
Well, they definitely don't want, as the Wildcats take a timeout here, did not have either the right personnel or the right setup on the board.
I think they'll have 10 guys.
Well, 10 players in football is not so helpful.
No.
But I agree with you. I would imagine that the Shakopee coaching staff, the Shakopee team, Shakopee was going to want to make sure everyone's healthy, especially in that first. Their number ones are all going to be healthy for next week, and the last thing you want is some sort of fluke injury or somebody breaking something on a tackle or something like that, or tweaking an ankle. So absolutely get them off the field here. If they go up another touchdown, get them off the field.
Yeah, and again, this is a short week here. We're playing on Wednesday night, MEA week, so you had 5 days since you last played, and for Shakopee, they had a very physical game against Lakeville South last time out. Of course, the Cats had that thrilling win over Burnsville last time out. But, these teams, they have 9 days before they play again. But that's not going to heal a bad ankle, a bad knee, anything like that if somebody were to be hurting. Cats second and long coming out of the timeout. Schwam keeps across the 30. And he'll get a first down out across the 32-yard line. Nice job of bouncing outside by Carson Schwam.
A nice job by Schwam. Good decision making. The dive back Tonsager was swallowed up. He did a nice job of pulling that ball out of Tonsager's breadbasket and then turning it up the field. Nicely done. I like to see the maturity, and he's at since he's taken over at the quarterback position, Schwam has become. It looks like he's become more comfortable.
Yes.
And the game's not too fast for him, which is, as a sophomore, what you want to see.
So fresh set of downs for the Cats early in quarter number 3. Down by a 21-0 count. Tonsager loses one man, cuts to the inside, keeps those legs turning, gets out near the 39-yard line. That's a nice pickup on first down by Tonsager. Kind of following the block of Moses on that play.
Yeah, big kudos to Adrian Moses that time at the left tackle position, doing a nice job of locking on and keeping his legs churning. Shakopee player tried to take Tonsager down from up high, but as is often the case, and as we've learned, that's an extremely difficult thing to do for a tackler, to take down a running back around his shoulder pads. You got to go low.
Cats second short. Tonsager falls forward. Is it going to be enough as he's tossed forward by number 28 for Shakopee? That was, I believe, Megan, I should say, for Shakopee. I almost said Lee. He's 26. But it is going to be a first down for the Wildcats.
Well, 2 first downs here for the Wildcats, Mike Cook, and that's, as we said, that's what the doctor ordered. That's exactly what the Wildcats needed to do coming out of halftime.
From the 42 for the Wildcats. About 2.5 gone by here. Half number 2. Tonsager straight ahead. Maybe tries to bounce outside. Gets a couple of yards that time. Just 2 yards that time for the junior.
I like the ball security by Tonsager. He
Yes.
knows he's traveling into unfriendly waters, and he's buttoning up nice and tight with both arms on the ball that time. Because that's the kind of thing that these Wildcats have been bitten by in the past, is fumbles and mental mistakes and physical mistakes. Tonsager doing his best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Schwam, he's got 2 receivers top of the screen. And that's a backwards throw, but that's going to be out to the 48-yard line. That was Brooklyn Evans, who quarterbacked the freshman team this year. Coach Nick Johnson saying he did not expect to see Evans see action tonight. But sure enough, right there, Brooklyn Evans, first career stats as a varsity player for the Wildcats.
Well, he sure looked the part there, didn't he,
Yeah.
Mike Cook?
Picks up about 4, and that's going to be a run officially because that was a backward pass.
Yep.
And it's going to be right to the 50. You see how far the Cats are going to need to go. What do you do if you're the Eagan Wildcats here?
You know what you do? You go get a first down. That's what you do, because this game is what it is. It's a 3-touchdown lead. You have a fourth and relatively short, 2 yards. You've demonstrated the ability to get a couple of yards, but just go get it.
Well, and you bring in number 62, Keenan Wilson, strongest kid on this team. He is going to line up on the Cats actually use the jumbo package with he and Hansen off to the left. Tonsauger goes that way, cuts it up, not going to get there. Nice job by the Shakopee defense. First man in, I believe, was number 94 for the Sabres, Work Bragg.
Nicely done by Bragg, knifing in that time. He absolutely stood up the left side of the line. Left side of the line did not get the surge that they needed.
Nope.
They needed to attack that line of scrimmage, and that time it almost looked like they were trying to move laterally down the line of scrimmage to block rather than attacking up the field. And the Wildcats just don't get it done. They turn it over on downs.
So 7:22 to go here. Third quarter, it remains 21-0 for Shakopee. I think they were ranked 6th in the latest 6A rankings I saw. Oh, just keeps those legs going. Gugino was first man there, but finally got a little bit of help over there from Tella. But it's still a 5-yard pickup on first down.
Hey, you just have to wrap up. First man makes the tackle, second man can strip the ball or finish off the tackle, but just make that tackle. Good job by Mason Gugino just to wrap up and hold on and wait for help.
And if you're Shakopee, I mean, you just run this ball the rest of the way, don't you? Just eat the munch minutes off the clock. Do what you do best.
I think so, unless you get down a distance where you feel like you need to throw it.
No, hands off. Hellerud straight ahead. Little spin move. And it gets down to about the 35-yard line. 15, or it's about a 5-yard. And the sticks are going to move on the first down.
Gain of 10, and it's a first down for the Sabres, now at the Wildcat 36.
Yeah, again, just hand it off and let them run.
Yeah, Wildcat defense really getting run over here by the Shakopee Sabres.
Yep.
Need to attack the line of scrimmage.
Same play. A little better result for the Wildcats as he only got about 4 that time on the carry. We're 30 in on the stop for the Wildcats is Noah Johnson, the senior linebacker. Should mention it is senior night tonight, and all those seniors were honored before the football game, along with managers, dance team.
And cheerleaders. And cheerleaders. Yep. Cheerleaders and dance team, yep.
Always kind of a bittersweet night for those kids.
Oh, it's a bittersweet night for the kids, for the parents, and for the community.
Monroe keeps, plus 1 tackle, finds a seam, gets down to about the 23, keeps on going. And he finally goes down after about 6 Wildcats come in there to make the stop.
Well, Wyatt Peterson had Monroe for a TFL, tackle for loss, and he just could not complete the tackle, couldn't wrap up. It is epidemic, in blue and silver, right? I mean, just not wrapping up and not being consistent in their play.
Nice job that time by the Wildcat D. Keeper that time by Monroe, only got a couple. Looked like Gugino was in there on the stop for the Wildcats along with Kruger. Or check that was Hansen, 83. 3-yard pickup that time for Shakopee.
2nd and 7 for Shakopee from the Wildcat 17.
Inside 4.5 to go here, or almost down to 4.5 to go here in the third quarter. Shakopee looking to go up by 4 scores. They're going to go near side Sandridge, 10, 5, cuts the corner. Did he get there? They're going to say he stepped out actually at about the 4-yard line. Nice job trying to tiptoe his way for that last little bit.
I did not see who it was, but the outside receiver for Shakopee had an absolutely brilliant block to get Sandridge to the corner. He squared up on him and was blocking him, and then he spins around almost like a box out in basketball and makes the block with his backside.
Shakopee taking plenty of time to get this play in. Yep, might have to hurry here. Pitch, Sandridge. Down to about the one. He got popped, and there's a late flag that came in.
I think we're going to have a hold at the point of attack.
I think so, too. I think that was Dorsey that popped him, and it was. It is holding Shakopee. Again, we mentioned it the first half. Penalties, penalties, penalties. Coach Ray Betton just said that's just been a problem with this squad the last few weeks. Well, so they started out kind of slow, then kind of got their rhythm going there for a while, and now it's just kind of come back and bitten them a little more.
Well, you know, and it's penalties. You know, if you want to play with the top teams in 6A, you're going to have to be clean. Yep. You're going to have to be clean. And you're going to have to be mentally disciplined.
Especially when you get down here in the red zone. Good job that time by the Wildcats. Wilson finished him off. And I believe that was Kruger, first man in for the Wildcats, the sophomore linebacker. So they were down at the 4, then we had a hold and a minimal run that time for the Sabres. Got to look for Katana out there, number 84. Or check that, 82, I should say.
Yep. Yeah, have him hitting the flats is probably a good idea right now.
He's lined up on the right side of that line. And they're going to fake the pitch. They're going to throw it. Guess who?
There's a massive hold. Oh, my goodness.
Did he get in? Just inside the 1 yard line. Dorsey and Wilson.
I'm utterly confused as to how the referee and umpire both missed the mass. Micah Baum comes knifing in to try to stop that pass from occurring, and he's just absolutely taken down by a Shakopee Sabre offensive lineman. I'm not sure how the referees missed that one, but oh well.
First and goal for the Sabres. Straight ahead, too easy. Touchdown, Shakopee. Hillerud with his third of the night. This time from the 1. 27 rip Sabres.
Well, Shakopee showing their quality despite, the mental mistakes and the lapses, the crackback blocks and other kinds of things that you don't want to have happen. And against a team in the playoffs, in 6A playoffs, that's not going to get it done. But right now, they're able to do what they need to do here against the Wildcats.
And the kick is good. And so with 2:29 to go in the third quarter, it's now 28-0 Shakopee. And I'm going to guess we might have called Hillerud's name for the last time tonight.
Yeah, I would imagine we won't see Monroe, we won't see Hillerud, we won't see a lot of the starters. The offensive line will stay out there for a little longer, but the backs and receivers should be probably coming off the field. I want to give a shout out to the pit. It's a pajama night, PJ out, if you want to call it that. We've had a nice pit down here, a lot of good student support. It's a jersey out on the other side here for the Shakopee Sabres, but again, for all of last year not having fans in the stands, and now we've had multiple weeks in a row with pits full of kids. It's really been exciting. It's just been a lot of fun, and of course Brick Oven Pizza was here tonight, getting some pizzas for us. And I'm sure hoping they've got one pizza waiting for me when we're done with this game.
Yeah, again, it's been a lot of fun. The Friday night lights this year. We said that, unfortunately the Cats are going to be in the road on the playoffs. Maybe next year they get a home game. It's been a long time since we've had a playoff game here in Wildcat country.
That would be a nice goal. That really would be a nice goal here for this program. And I think with the number of players at the freshman and sophomore level that are rising up for them, I think they have an opportunity.
Absolutely. Anderson's going to bring it out about the 25, cuts outside. Nice return there, get out across the 30. Cats, good starting position this time.
Well, you might doubt George Anderson's size, but never doubt the size of his heart, because he was an absolute battler on that one. Would not be denied. Nicely done by George Anderson.
So Carson Schwamm, he'll lead the Eagan offense. Interesting, Schwamm, I understand, I was told he's got some videos out where he's rapping on the YouTube channel. Goes by the name C4 Spitz. It's Carson Schwamm on the YouTube channel. I saw a couple of those videos, and interesting. Tonsager gets maybe one that time on first down, but there was a flag on the play. Let's see what the hanky's going to be all about.
Sure looks like it's probably going to be an offensive hold.
And they're looking to the Shakopee sideline to see what Coach Benton wants to do. I think I decline it if I'm Shakopee. If indeed it is on the Wildcats. Holding Eagan.
Holding against the Wildcats.
Oh, and they're going to send them back 10 yards. So ball back to the 21-yard line.
Penalty moves the ball to the Wildcat 21.
So we'll negate the 1-yard gain.
Repeating first down after the penalty. First and 20. Wildcats now at 21.
Two receivers to the left for Schwamm on first and long. And they're just going to run the ball straight ahead. Tonsager wrapped up at the line.
Wrapped up by Jace Garcia, number 50.
60 on the stop for the Shakopee Sabres as I go back to the roster of the Sabres. I don't have a 60. Okay.
Garcia.
50. It should be 50, not 60. Apologize to the Garcia fans.
Family? Yes. I'm sure they're watching right now.
Well, hopefully we got some good viewership over there in Scott County this evening, watching their Sabres with a 28-0 lead here in Wildcat Country. Glad you're with us watching the ETV broadcast. Schwamm pressured Schwamm, and he is going to be dropped at about the 25-yard line. Number of Sabres in on that stop.
Well, Shakopee brought a lot of heat to Schwamm. Schwamm did not have an opportunity to step into that ball or get that out. He had Phillips on the outside one-on-one, and I think he was hoping to get that ball in the air to let Phillips make a play, but just wasn't to be that time.
Yeah, Ben Sedlacek was the guy coming up off the bottom of that pile, number 48 for the Sabres. Going to set up third and really long for the Wildcats. Well, you would think a passing situation. Rowan Phillips will be lined up wide left. And Schwamm is just going to, there's a little screen pass. It's up maybe 5 or 6. Needed to get a lot further than that on that play. Good roll on the reception.
I like that call though. That's a nice little play. You know, that little slip screen out to the side like that. That's it's relatively low risk, but I like that play to the outside because it's something we have not seen yet this year, Mike, and B, it's something that has an opportunity to pop something if you do get somebody either over pursuing to one side or if somebody breaks a tackle.
By the way, that was the final play of quarter number 3, so we'll switch ends. Cats will be facing a fourth down. Hey, just a reminder, ETV is growing. We're providing more and more local community program like this game you're watching here tonight. And you can drive that growth, I should say, by getting involved as a volunteer. Because, hey, the more volunteers we have, the more programming that can be provided to the Eagan community. Again, today is National Community Media Day. So you can always check out eagan-tv.com to find out about volunteer opportunities and the numerous ways you can help your community here in Eagan. Again, we'll be doing a lot of the winter sports again on ETV. Doing hockey for both boys and girls. We'll be doing some hoops, boys and girls, wrestling. All kinds of activity being Eagan TV is able to bring you.
Yeah, really looking forward to hockey season, boys hockey season this year with you, Mike, and it's going to be real exciting. The Wildcats have got a substantial size senior class coming back, a lot of experience, and should be entertaining.
Good punt that time by Giron back to the 35. Shakopee is going to retreat. Gets to the outside.
They're in lead at 26 fields to punt. He's 35, and he's tripped up by Jack Hansen.
So Shakopee will start out at their own 45-yard line. Up by 4 scores. Set to improve to 6-2 on this football season. Cats most likely going to drop down to 2-6. Hey, just want a couple other shout-outs here. The Eagan High School had their blood drive on Monday. Collected 27 units of blood, which will save 81 lives. So thanks for everybody that took part in that. And looking ahead, they've got the annual Veterans Day Assembly. It's going to be November 10th, 9 a.m. in the gym. Always a really cool event here at Eagan High School, honoring those that have served our country. Again, November 10th, I believe that's a Wednesday, 9 a.m. in the school gym. So Shakopee from the 45. Nothing happened in that time for the Sabres. Number 13 with the ball is the ball carrier for Shakopee as they get some other guys in here. That's Gators, Ari Gators. He's a junior running back. Picks up maybe 1 that time. Again, 28-0 Shakopee. I think who gets the W is not in doubt. It's just a matter of what are the final numbers. Remember what I said back in the third quarter about not calling that name again? There was Hellerud. Gets about 4 that time.
Well, once in a while when you rub your temples and you think your prognostication skills are A+, they only turn out to be B-. And that's just, you know, Mike, it's one of those commentators' curses that you put on yourself.
So this will be kind of like when we do the hockey season, we start talking shutouts and that kind of thing. Okay.
And of course they score. Right.
Exactly. Yes. They're down for the Sabres. Penalty flags. We're going to disrupt that play.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Eagan for encroachment.
As they're making noise in the pit, part of the PJ party here tonight. Again, great turnout by the pit. I mean, it's MEA weekend, long weekend. Of course, these guys don't have to get up for class tomorrow.
Which is a big, I understand, in speaking to my discreet confidential sources, is a big factor in whether you want to be in the pit or not.
You know, and thankfully, it stayed dry. Every forecast said these games are going to be wet tonight. And again, it's dry, thankfully. And also, I look across the way at the Shakopee student section. Great turnout for them. Nice turnout by the Shakopee fans that made the trek over here. Here to watch their Sabres improve to 6-2 on this season.
Of course, if it had been pouring rain, you could have stayed home and watched ETV and checked us out on the YouTube channel too.
It's always that. Yeah, again, always check out ETV on the YouTube if you want to watch, you know, playbacks of this game or previous activity and football, soccer. You know, they've done a lot of different sports here this fall. Volleyball team. Well, we should mention the volleyball team, by the way. Seeding was to occur tonight. I mean, how Eagan would not get a number 1 seed in their section would be amazing.
I'm sure they got a number 1 seed.
Absolutely.
You can't get a 0 seed. So.
No, you swept Apple Valley 2 nights ago, won the conference crown once again. So the Eagan volleyball team.
That's right.
And you were there. They beat Shakopee last week.
Not only was I there, I had the honor of calling that game for ETV. It was really exciting, and Eagan just absolutely dominated that matchup. Shakopee has some great players, and clearly did not play as well as they expected to.
Yeah. So wouldn't be shocked to see those two teams match up, maybe down at the XL Energy Center at some point in early November. And there goes Monroe for Shakopee. Monroe to the house. Touchdown, Sabres. 48 yards on the keeper, and that was on 4th down. 34-0 Sabres.
The Wildcats just not able to tackle, not able to wrap up and get. I mean, there were 4 or 5 or 6 different opportunities there to bring him down short of certainly the goal line. Maybe not the first down, but certainly the goal line. Wildcats just couldn't get that done.
Forsyth to put us in running time. And he does. 35-0 Shakopee. 9:54 to go in the 4th quarter.
The result tonight, Mike, is certainly, as you've pointed out, not in any question. But I guess I personally would like to take an opportunity to look forward and say, look, this Wildcat program is rising. It's not rising fast. It's not. We're not going from. This isn't the '91 Twins going worst to first, right, or something like that. But this Wildcat program is rising back to where it has been in the past, and that's really what you want to see. They won one game last year in a weird COVID year. So this year they've got a couple of wins under the belt. Next year, I really do think, I agree with you, Mike, trying to win 4 or 5 games and get a home playoff game. That would be a great goal. Granted, yes. As a football coach, you want to win every game. You want to be competitive in every game, but this is still a work in progress, right? They're not going to beat the Lakeville Souths of the world yet. They're just not in that position.
Right.
But they have an opportunity, especially assuming we keep a similar structure, gold maroon structure as what we did this year. Next year, they have an opportunity to win 4 games.
And it's continue to climb the ladder, which has been the slogan this year, and whether or not they keep that for next year, who knows? But nice return that time by the Wildcats. Anderson gets out near the 40-yard line. Is there going to be a late flag? No, I don't think so. But
Wildcats lucky they didn't get flagged there.
Yeah, I think you look at this Shakopee team, and they're a prime example of what Eagan could be. I think you look where Shakopee was when Ray Benton took over 7 years ago.
Yeah,
they were the modern, or the last year Eagan, where you wanted them to be your homecoming opponent every year kind of thing.
That's right.
2 years ago they get to the state quarterfinals. Just got nipped by Lakeville North in a game over at Stillwater High School, and Lakeville North scored late. But, a team on the upswing. They've got the players. They're developing their systems. And look where they are right now. This is a team to be reckoned with in 6A.
No, that's absolutely correct. And I'm glad you made that point, Mike, because, Shakopee football, 7 years ago was not what it is today. It's not like Shakopee football has been great for 30 years, right? Or even competitive for 30 years. But Coach Benton's got them going and has built something great. It's an opportunity. You're right. It's a blueprint here for the Wildcats.
Absolutely. And in Shakopee, with the numbers they've got and the growth that's happening in that part of the metro, you look at the Shakopees, the Prior Lakes. These are teams that have worked their way up the chain, and they should stay there.
Yeah, you would think the demographics would certainly be helpful. Eagan, the Eagan community is not, growing the way it used to grow. Shakopee still has room to build, thousands of hundreds of houses, certainly, if not thousands of houses. Although we should mention, there may be some additional room moving into the Eagan High School area with some redistricting. The District 196 is going to be moving some boundaries around.
Right. Although what's going to be coming to Eagan is kind of a smaller, kind of that Red Pine Elementary area right now. And I asked NJ about that, I don't know, it was last week. And again, it's way too early to tell. What are you going to get for kids out of that area? The kids that live in Inver Grove that now go to Rosemount will be coming here. It's just way too far down the line to know what's going to happen. But, all that growth is.
But it's land. It's additional undeveloped land, which, as we know around here, tends to get developed.
And we do have an injured Shakopee Saber. Can't quite see the numbers. The official is right in our line of sight. 7:59 to go.
Yeah, it's Tremaine Fulton.
Again, one of their starters on defense, if that indeed is Fulton. Hey, I want to mention something we didn't mention last game, and we meant to and we just didn't get to it, but Eagan High School has 6 National Merit Scholarship Program semifinalists. There were 17 across the district, 6 of them from here at Eagan High School, and it's Alan Gong, Arlen Hagenbarth, Nina Mirfakare, and I apologize, I'm sure I butchered that one, Anna Schuler, Sarah Smith, and Eric Sorensen. Also 7 commended scholars from Eagan High School, 32 across the district, so a lot of smarts happening here in the halls of Eagan High School and throughout District 196. Cats on first down. Bounce to the outside, trying. And again, read very well by the Shakopee defense.
That was a little bit of misdirection that Shakopee penetrated just too much that time, and Todsager had to do something really creative. He was lucky just to get back to the line of scrimmage for that one.
And it does look like Shakopee's got a lot of their twos in there right now on defense, as I see a lot of new numbers out there.
And The rain's starting to come, Mike,
Yep.
and with 7:25 left here in this game, it'd be, I think everybody just wants to get out of here right now and move back
Yep.
to the locker room.
Yep. Again, we are in running time because it is a 35-point margin here in the fourth quarter. Schwam throws far side. The ball's caught just on the other side of the 50. Phillips that time with the reception, number 5 for the Wildcats. That's Rowan's first catch tonight. Of course, we said he had that big catch a week ago against Burnsville that got the Cats down into prime scoring position. And Tonsager able to run that one in to tie things up in the fourth. And again, what a finish we had in that one with the Cats winning at the buzzer.
Yeah, it's really great. It's great for these Wildcats because, again, tonight's not obviously going the Wildcats' way. Next week's the playoff game would be highly unlikely to go their way. But to have those memories, to have the memories of beating Hopkins, beating Burnsville on the last-minute field goal, walk-off field goal. I mean,
yes.
I mean, just how exciting is that for these seniors, for these juniors, for all the players, everybody connected to the program. Whether they're on the booster club, the dance team, the cheerleaders, the band, everybody just to be a part of that. Those are memories that they'll cherish for quite some time.
And, down on the field tonight before the game, a couple of the coaches, they were still talking about it. They were talking about how, the Pit was able to finally storm the field. As Shakopee looks to bust another one, the nice pickup that time. And again, they were a little late, really late flag coming in from way back in the secondary. And then, anyway, they were talking about how the Pit was able to celebrate with everybody last week, the big tackle cancer game and everything. And we've mentioned it a few times this year. I mean, the crowds of the Pit that we've seen this year have been phenomenal.
Well, imagine when the Wildcats are just going to be a little more even competitive. Imagine what we're going to see down there for the Pit. It's going to be really exciting.
Yep. Clock is stopped, 5:57 to go, and it's unsportsmanlike, offsetting. So we'll replay the down. But again, we saw it. You had EAA night here. I think it was a couple of games ago. Lots of kids, lots of excitement. They had the future dance team members were out here tonight. I think they said it was 173 young gals that were out here with the Eagan Dance Squad. You could see the smiles on their faces, just having a good time, part of the whole Friday Night Lights. And again, we got to thank people like Brick Oven Bus that are out here again tonight. The Eats and Meat, or I knew I was going to mess up that name. Finer Meats and Eats has been here. El Burrito Mikado was here this year. Again, part of that whole Friday Night Light experience that's back in Wildcat country this year. And it's just fun because you've seen a lot of the community out here. We've had some big crowds. .525 and counting left in this one. Shakopee comfortably in front. And a little short pass. Is it going to be caught? Did he scoop it up off the turf? I thought it hit the ground. And the officials do agree.
Yeah, I don't think that pass was thrown with a lot of confidence. That looked like I'm not sure the quarterback could see his receiver there, and it looked like he was just kind of throwing that up and hoping that someone would come up with it.
So 2nd and 15 upcoming for Shakopee. And Sabres are going to run it straight ahead. It's number 24 on the carry, Brandon Johnson, the junior running back for the Shakopee Sabres squad. Picks up about half of the distance that was needed. Going to set up 3rd and about 8 for the Sabres. And, of course, these kids would love to punch one in as well. I mean, they're out there, every night, every day at practice. They're working hard, and they want to be rewarded as well.
Absolutely.
Conversely, the Eagan D does not want to let them get in, and a stop like that will help. Quite a few numbers out there for Eagan. Should mention I see out there right now on defense, number 47, Cole Will, freshman defensive lineman, number 47, wearing the blue. Of course, his brother Carter's been had a lot of nice plays this year for the Wildcats as well. Carter up from that linebacker spot this year. Starting linebacker as a sophomore.
Nice for the Wildcats to turn them over on downs here. Have a little something to smile about.
Shakopee's going to burst this one right through the line. Inside the 20, barreling his way down to about the 12-yard line. Once again, that's number 13 on the carry. That's Gators, just a junior for the Shakopee squad. Got some good size on that young man as well, as he's just plowed his way forward. Shakopee already up 35-0. 4 times this year, Shakopee has eclipsed 40. We're all in the first 4 games of the year. And they're going to come near side, pitch it up. And number 10 gets down to the 10-yard line. That's Wamsley. And Shakopee's going to be a tough out in the sections. You look at this offense, and there's a lot of weapons, a lot of misdirection. They are a hard team to plan for.
Yeah, it's the fashion nowadays in high school and college is the spread offense and to spread things out and throw it around. But both Eagan and Shakopee are running these option offenses, and it does create some matchup challenges and some coaching challenges for other teams.
Straight ahead, powering his way down to about the 3-yard line. That time was Johnson once again. Down to just over 2 minutes to go in this one. See if Shakopee can punch one more in. It's going to be 1st and goal. They're going to spot the ball. They're going to say at the 4.
Big test here for the Wildcats, just because you don't want them to punch one in here, right?
Right.
I mean, great for the Wildcats. Great opportunity for the Wildcats.
And they are able to punch one in that time. 4 yards out is Gators.
The Wildcats had a chance to tackle Gators in the backfield, and they didn't do it. So if you don't tackle them in the backfield and you let them get ahead of steam, that's what's going to happen.
Minute and a half to go in this one. Now 41-0 Sabres. Forsyth for the PAT. This be his 6th of the night if he splits the uprights. Shakopee gets that 11th man out there on the end of the line. And that one did not squib its way through. Nonetheless, 41-0 Sabres. Hey, one more time, let's mention our crew here tonight. Eagan TV crew. These are the people that they come here early, set stuff up. They stay late, tearing stuff down. They're here for soccer games. They're inside for volleyball games. I mean, these are the real, the stars of the show.
They are. Josh Sibley, Michelle Blasco, Greg Borman, and Dylan Straub. Thank you very much for doing your jobs. You guys have been doing it all season long. Doing some co-op work with BCT and all of that. It is an opportunity for you and I, Mike, to come out here and do the easy stuff. And of course, I'm only here because I'm riding your coattails. But in any event, it's a great opportunity for us to be out here and talk as the rain now starts to fall out on the field. And I think just about everybody's going to be happy to see this game end here in the next minute 30.
Again, National Community Media Day is today, October 20th. And Eagan TV, they're always looking for volunteers, looking for new ideas to get on the cable channel. Eagan-TV.com. Don't be afraid. You and I can pull this off. Anybody can do it. And Cats will get a return out across the 20, maybe the 25-yard line. See if they can maybe end with a couple of positive plays. And the clock will stop here at 1:22 to go. So you look back at this Wildcat season, and you went down to Rosemont, kind of got hammered early. Kind of had a tough schedule there. Park came here and really kind of literally threw it all over the place. Cats had to adjust. Woodbury was a tough one. East Ridge, another slow start. But Cats rebounded, went up to Hopkins. Dominated a hapless Royals team. And you won the big one with Burnsville. Had a tough night against Eastview, but all in all, I mean, a lot to be proud of this year for the Wildcats, even though it's going to be a 2-6 record.
Yeah, I think it's the phrase is climb the ladder, Mike, and you can't get to the top of the ladder without touching all the rungs. And to me, this is just one more rung you have to touch. It's one more thing you have to do. You have to get 2 wins before you can get 3. You got to get 3 wins before you can get 4. You got to get some wins before you can get a home playoff game. All of that stuff. And I think if this program can stay the course, I think they're going to be something special here in the next maybe 2 years. Maybe as early as next year, but certainly in the next couple of years.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of things to really feel good about.
And I want to give credit to Nick Johnson and the coaches too. I think these guys do a nice job of working with these guys. They got the right, they come to practice, they've got the right attitudes, both coaches and players. You see the smiles out there, you see them having fun. And that is tonight's football game, by the way, as the Wildcats come up short in the home finale. Wildcats lose to the Shakopee Sabers by a 41-0 count. Again, playoffs will start on October the 29th. Wildcats will be somewhere. We know NJ thought, he said, maybe Eden Prairie, could be Maple Grove, Stillwater. We'll know on Friday the 22nd where the Cats will be on the 29th. We know the Sabres will be home on the 29th. It's a matter of who, and do they get a 2 or a 3 seed in that section?
Well, one thing we know certainly, Mike, is that you and I won't be calling another Eagan football game yet this year. And so thanks very much for a good season. This is 5 years, the end of our 5th season together. And thanks for putting up with me for 5 seasons.
No, you've put up with me, man. It's been a good partnership, and it's been a lot of fun. So on behalf, that's going to wrap things up here in Wildcat Country. As you said, a now wet Wildcat Country. But, again, thanks to everybody at ETV. Thanks to everybody involved with Eagan football this year. So on behalf of the entire ETV crew, he is Nathan Cron. I'm Mike Cook. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next year for Eagan football on ETV.